Good morning. It was a week ago. The national champion UConn Huskies men's basketball team celebrated with a parade and a rally in Hartford. This past week, the team visited the state capitol. The team's success is a point of pride for our state. Governor Ned Lamont knows that. He's joining me to talk about that and a number of other topics. Governor, welcome.
Hey, Eric.
You sort of switched into fan-in-chief as they made their March Madness run. I saw you there live to watch many of those games. What was it like just being a Husky fan who also happens to be the governor?
Started out in Cleveland, watched the women defy all the experts, go right to the Final Four there. There were a lot of Indiana fans, so Connecticut had to cheer extra loud. Then down to Phoenix we went and watched the men. Those guys were fantastic. They were in control the whole way. But again, it's really passionate. A lot more fun than those professional games where everybody's looking at their stock prices on their machine. Here we cared.
I know you, not only did you see the Huskies at the Capitol, but you also rode on the bus in the championship parade. Did you have any interactions with them that were memorable to you, where you know, something off the court where you thought, gosh, you know, this was a neat moment I got to have with a player that I was just cheering for?
Last year, the team was like, pinch me, I can't believe I'm here. This year, the team was, I'm here, I deserved it, we won big. And having 65,000 people turn out and cheer their hearts out meant a lot to the team. I think it meant a lot to Connecticut, too.
And I think one thing that a lot of people talk about is getting that Connecticut name known worldwide. You know, we had Radenka Maric, the president of UConn, on the show about a year ago, and I asked her about the criticism that so much money is spent on sports, and she said, nobody comes over to me if I'm traveling overseas and says, oh, UConn, you have the great biology program or journalism or English. They all know about the Huskies. The people who need to know the other stuff. She said, but it's good to get our name out there. Do you agree?
Look, I agree. I agree on both, though. I mean, these are amazing scholar athletes, but let's cut to the chase. All America was talking about UConn and Connecticut last week. That's magic. What that means in terms of our school, number of applications coming in, it's also one of the best educations in the world.
The social media of choice for me is Twitter, or X as it's now called. And there's an account called the Connecticut Rail Commuters got into a little tussle with people online after the championship parade saying they should be spending their money on academics, not on athletics. And a lot of people jumped in. It turned into a whole thing online. Do you get that criticism, even though, like what you said, it spreads the name? Do people say, but Governor, we need money for early childhood or for schools or for this or for that. Why are we spending it on the Huskies?
First of all, I don't think it's either or. Secondly, I love watching these teams, being part of a team with a coach. I see all the disconnections for young people out there, and I see what it means to be part of a team. And by the way, I think there are a lot of people donating to UConn right now.
And that's and a lot of applications go up there.
That goes to sports and that goes to academics.
Tell me a little bit about some of the things that are going forward. I did note when he was at the Capitol, Dan Hurley, like Ned Lamont, is a no tie with the suit guy. So you may have a little connection there. But obviously, we heard rumors from Kentucky that they were just going to send a blank check this way to try to lure him down. He has said he doesn't want to leave. But does his salary, is that something you got to be thinking about as the governor, or what happens with that?
Look, Dan is going to stay in Connecticut. He's a Connecticut guy. Andrea loves Connecticut. So I don't think we have to worry about that, but we're going to make good with the best basketball coach in America.
The other thing, talking dollars in UConn, is the XL Center, sorely in need of upgrades. Some opponents came out and said that they wanted to see a better facility. Certainly many UConn fans have said they'd like to see a better facility there. We saw some upgrades to Gamble a few years ago, fixing the roof and such, but there could be needs for upgrades there too. Do those big facilities, as we see this team go back to back, and like you said, the women's team having an awful lot of success when people thought they couldn't, does that have to be a priority, figuring out those two arenas?
Yeah, well, we have made a commitment to the XL Center right there in downtown Hartford. I love it when that place is packed. I love what it means to Hartford. We've got $100 million invested there. Bids came in a little more than that, so Mike Freemuth is putting that together. We're going to get that done over the next few years.
And is there a thought about Gamble as well?
There is a thought about Gamble. I mean, this is, for the basketball capital of the world, it starts with Gamble. And I'd like to see the alumni come in and help alongside the taxpayers.
Is there anything from this run that's memorable to you? I know you were able to see a lot of the games. Was there one moment where you thought, gosh, this is unbelievable?
Can I give a little shout out to Gino Auriemma? I mean, that team was decimated with injuries. They were a little smaller than some of the other teams. I loved how they kept coming back. I love that fight. I love what they did in that final game. And I love with that really close call, they didn't complain. They just carried forward. They impressed me.
And a lot of people saw AZ Fudd go down and thought that they were done for. And to make the Final Four, Gino Auriemma certainly has shifted the boundaries of what's expected of his teams over the last dozen or so years, but that's still an amazing accomplishment.
Two amazing coaches, two amazing teams, what it means for Connecticut.
And you think it's pretty important, whether you're a Husky fan or not, you think it pays value to Connecticut?
I think it does. I think I love the pride. I love everybody coming up saying, hey, I'm taking a second look at your state. Everybody's talking about Connecticut. Makes me feel good.
Now, I know you had a bet with the Indiana governor. Has he paid up?
Is he paid up yet? I don't know.
Where?
I'm supposed to get my banana cream pie and my root beer. Let's go. I'm hungry.
All right, we're gonna check on that. I want to talk politics a little bit too, and we have a lot from the session. But one thing I think a lot of people noticed, and I know you're a politician with thick skin. You got up to the podium at the parade, and there were a fair number of boos in the crowd. And I know you don't care because you're a politician. That's part of the deal. But I know you enough from these interviews to know I think you earnestly believe that in your time in office, you've made Connecticut a better place. Knowing that, is it hard for you to walk up there and hear boos like that?
I think they were tired of politicians. I think they wanted to have Coach Hurley and the players come, and I think I would have been frustrated too. Look, I think people feel good about this state compared to where we were, 5, 10 years ago. We've got our economic house in order. Moving vans are turning around. People moving into the state. They're leaving New York. They're leaving Massachusetts. We're the fastest growing state in the Northeast. I feel pretty good about that. I hope Connecticut does as well.
All right. Well, obviously, you're here in your second term. The voters spoke about that. There is a lot going on in Hartford. We're getting close to the end of the short legislative session. I want to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and talk a little bit about what's still left to be accomplished in that session and what some of your priorities are. So if you'll stay with us, we'll go to break and come back right after this.
Got it.
All right. We'll be back with more with Governor Lamont here on CT24, coming up right after this quick break.